if we're connected on social, you might know this, but about a month ago, my computer broke. I'll tell you a little bit more why, but there was three key lessons that I learned from my computer fiasco, and I think it's really important we talk about it today. Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of the Your Money, Your Life podcast. Today, we're talking about three key lessons I learned from my computer fiasco. So it was about a month ago. And I guess by the time this goes live, probably a little over a month ago. We'll just say a month, okay? We don't need the exact details, or that exact detail is not important. So it was a Monday. Monday is my homeschool heavy day. I do a lot of the work with my kids that is my more teacher intensive, okay? Especially with my oldest, because most of his work now is independent work, but we have a couple subjects. Takes a little bit more work with my part. We schedule those on Monday. So Monday's a light work day for me, right? Hadn't gotten anything done at work because we had been focusing on school, like I said. Walked over, I had my computer in my hand and walked over. It slipped out of my hand, fell less than 6 inches. Like my son was sitting there. It was like it didn't even make like a sound really when it hit. Must have hit at just the right angle because it shattered the screen. Something like there was no visible breakage on it, but the screen was frozen. It wasn't doing anything. The time didn't move, all the things. Okay. Didn't work. I put it down, walked away. We came back later, looked at it. I plugged in my secondary monitor, seeing if we could get something to work there. External keyboard, trying to force it to restart, trying all the things, right? Inside, I'm freaking out. Okay. Just total transparency. I'm freaking out because this is, or was at the time, the only computer in the household. It's like I run a business. I need a computer and it's not working. So a couple hours later, trying to figure things out, I've determined it's not fixable, but I bought the warranty. One of the things I'm going to talk about here, one of the key lessons is about being prepared. And this was the first part. Okay, I have kids. Shoot, I'm the one that dropped it. I have insurance on my phone. The valuable electronics that I need working, I have those things. So I had bought the Assurion protection plan from Amazon when I got the computer, right? We're set. There's a Assurion a couple miles from the house. I rearranged what I needed to. We were going to get the claim filed, and I was taking it there immediately. We can get it done. No big deal, right? Not quite. So I go through the process. We finally get the claim filed. That was a whole nother thing in and of itself, trying to coordinate, and it was making me log into things again and getting passcodes, and yeah. So we finally get the claim filed, and they tell me they're going to ship me a box and I'm going to mail it off. And shipping me the empty box can take 5 business days. So then I really start to freak out. Okay, what am I going to do? I can't be without it for this long of time. Okay, let's chat with somebody, right? Pull up the chat, start chatting with somebody with Assurion. They were not very knowledgeable. We'll get to that in a little bit. But he's like, no, because of this policy within Amazon, they have to ship it to you. They have to ship you the box and you have to ship off the product and we'll be back. So it's like, okay, I'm running a business. I need to know what's the total turnaround time. How long are you going to have this computer? Or how long is the estimate until I can have a fixed computer? I know it's an estimate, but how long is the estimate? And this is where his communication skills weren't that great. But at the time, it sounded like it was going to be about 20 business days. Well, this happened end of October. I think it was October 30th, because I think it was that Monday. It happened then. Well, 20 business days, that's going to put us into Thanksgiving. So how many days are you off for Thanksgiving? Again, couldn't get a straight answer. It was like, okay, this is not working. We're going to move to the next thing. So this is where the 3 key lessons came in. All right. The first thing was about being prepared. Being prepared and having the insurance, to have that. There was a couple other things that I have since worked on. I'm going to get to more in number 3, how we're shifting things to handle this moving forward. And then the second question, or the second key lesson, which this is a key lesson I talk about quite frequently, but I had a freak out moment and then had to remind myself. So I'm reminding you. Okay. The second key lesson was asking how. Was like, okay, how can this be possible? It's like, well, I could get a new computer. Like, okay, that's a big expense, but it is tax deductible. And then I would be able to upgrade my computer. My oldest son also wants to start learning to code. And that would I could give him my old computer as a Christmas present. So then he would get one. He would learn to code. There would also be another computer that functions in the house again, which we used to have. The other one just got way too outdated. It wasn't working anymore. And then we would have that second computer in the house. So if something ever happened to mine again, I would have the backup and I could use his again because it's still a good computer. It was only a couple years old. All right. So this is like how it could be possible, right? Which was the route I ended up doing. We sat there, I found a new computer and got it ordered. I was down a couple of days there, 4 days or so, getting a new computer, all the things. Then, of course, like setting it up was a little bit different. Even though everything was cloud based, it wasn't quite cloud based, but we were asking the question how in 4 days was a lot faster than it was going to take to get the old computer fixed. Okay. Box came in to repair the old computer. We got it sent off. It was a Wednesday afternoon that I sent it off. Well, Friday morning, it was back on my doorstep, fixed. So a little bit of a miscommunication. We know better for next time. When the guy was saying 10 days for the repair, he meant 10 business days total, not just 10 days for them to fix the computer while they had it. Again, communication wasn't great, but we're doing what we're doing. Still worked out though, because when I got it back, opened it to check on it, there was something that still wasn't fixed with it. So I have since sent it off and they still have it. It's been like a week now that they are working on it. So apparently there was more wrong. But we asked the question how. I was prepared, but I had the insurance. And then number three goes back to being unstoppable. And that's important to me because it's not about what we do when things are super easy. It's about what we do when the tough moments happen. And my consistency is super important to me. And my consistency is a firm reason why I believe like I'm guaranteed to succeed at whatever level that I'm reaching towards, whether it's in my podcast, whether it's in my business. Like I decided to launch a podcast. 6 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant and we were able to batch and plan and do the things that we needed to be consistent so that my audience continued to hear from me. Y'all continued to get a podcast episode. There was emails that were sent. I did all those things during maternity leave and all of those things that were important to me because I know that like I am consistent. That is one of my strengths. And I also know that helps make me unstoppable because it doesn't matter what happens, we're still going to make it happen because you need me. I'm a unique brand. My spot, my space that I fill in the online business world. I'm not the profit coach. I'm not the woo mindset coach. I'm not the frugal debt payoff club. Like you're here because you're looking for something different. And I am that voice for you. And I want to continue to be that voice. That's important. So being unstoppable, this was something that I had to figure out. So hindsight being 2020, things that I'm doing moving forward. I'm getting back on top of planning a little bit ahead. I don't like to be like 6 weeks out or even really a month out recording any of those things because I'm enjoying doing more of the content in the moment. This week, earlier this week, yeah. Let me look. I think it was this week. Yes. So the episode that went live this week, I recorded on a Monday. It went live Tuesday morning at 6:30 Central. We got it done. It was close though. Like I got it edited, passed off to my VA. She worked on it, finalized everything so that it was ready to go a couple hours beforehand. But like that was close. That was a little too close for my comfort, but things were off. And I only like to record these when I know I'm in the best state of mind to do this because you deserve my best effort. Okay. What does that look like though? I am trying, my goal is, we are clearly not perfect. If this week's episode was recorded this week, to be recorded like 2 weeks out. Then we have that flexible time if something happened, computer, somebody got sick, we're not getting, quote, behind. Is it happening all the time? No, because like I said, it didn't happen this week. But We're making progress. We're doing the things that we need to. I'm learning and moving forward so that I can be unstoppable and that you can too. So my 3 key lessons from the Computer Fiasco, which I think it's interesting that like I still don't have it back because now we're almost past the 20 business days that we initially thought. And they still haven't gotten it fixed. I don't know what was wrong with it. When I got it back, for those who are curious, the initial setup, like on HP, where you have to connect to the internet, because I'm an Android, Windows, HP person, it wouldn't work. Like it was like the driver was missing or something. It was not even giving me the options to connect to the internet. So you couldn't get past that. That's what's wrong with it. But 3 key lessons. We're being prepared. I was prepared beforehand by having the insurance in place for those things that really mattered, and really like how I'm preparing in the future, which is lesson 3. The second thing I did was I was asking how, like, okay, how can this be possible? The thing that I didn't even talk about was there was 2 different collaborations, bundles, holiday catalogs, things that I was participating in that had the deadline. Like that was what I was sitting down to work on to finish. And what was I gonna do? Like, I had to be able to get that done. And it really felt like it was just like, this isn't feasible. Like, I can't work on my website. I can't update the sales page, all these things without a computer. I asked myself again, how is it possible? So, getting a new computer, first off, was the first realization I had. And then after I let myself kind of sit and settle, because if you're in that high emotional phase, you can't make logical decisions, okay? Or you shouldn't make logical decisions. So I stepped away, gave myself a break, sat down, was watching something on Netflix. And after like 30 minutes of walking away from it, how the other things could be possible, how I could submit to the bundle, all of those things showed up and I figured them out. I used my tablet, I had a keyboard somewhere, was able to edit it, but it just started with like okay, let me see if this will even work. And then it did. Great. But if I hadn't walked away from it, asked the right questions to myself to look for the answers, that would have never happened. And I would have just gotten frustrated, walked away because great, now I missed this, this, and this, and I'm not able to do whatever. But I had to look at it differently. The third key lesson was being unstoppable. Like you figuring out what is important to you, why, what are you going to do when the times get tough? And that was we figured it out. There was not a podcast episode that was missed. There was not one of the shorter, there we go, shorter YouTube videos that go live on Thursdays. None of those were missed. It didn't go live on Thursday. It went live on Saturday, but we still made it happen that we got it done that week, which is one of the tactics that I have included in my current 12-week year. In a couple weeks, we'll start talking about that. In my goal setting, my time management, productivity, all those things, like how we're doing those things. But I made the things happen that I said I was going to happen because I chose to be unstoppable. All right. That's what I got for this week. Send me a message on Instagram. I want to hear which one of these you were like, that was good. Like I needed to hear that. That was a good lesson. Relatability. You dropped your computer fiasco yourself. Anyways, I want to hear at Aimee Cerka on Instagram. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Your Money, Your Life podcast. Wondering what's next? When you're ready, there are different levels of support that you can use on the path to creating unstoppable finances and your unstoppable life. After all, your finances are unique and your support should be too. Ultimately, we'll create a customized plan to ditch financial struggle for good that works for you, your goals, your priorities, your life. Go to workwithaimee.com to get started with one of our most popular programs, or you can book a Q&A call with me and we'll figure out what your next step should be.